All right, so this YouTube video I saw called How to Start an Online Business with No Money. It really caught my eye.
No money.
Yeah, it claims you can start with no money.
Wow.
It's by a guy named Jason Wardrop, and he's promising pretty big things in this video.
Okay.
His secret, he says, is cloning a proven business model.
Cloning.
Yeah, so you know me, I'm always looking for a good shortcut, but
Right.
is this legit or is this all hype?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? I mean, the idea of starting a business with no money is super appealing,
Of course.
but, there's often a catch.
Yeah, exactly. So Wardrop, this guy in the video, he uses this company called Weave Communications as his example.
Okay.
They provide software solutions for all sorts of local businesses like dentists, real estate agents, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And get this, Weave is valued at almost $1 billion.
Wow.
$1 billion
Hmm.
with a B. And they charge their clients just a few $100s a month to access their software.
Okay.
It's all recurring revenue, like a subscription.
Yeah, that's a really powerful model for sure.
Yeah.
Having that recurring revenue stream, that can be really attractive to investors.
For sure.
But the question is, how did Weave achieve that kind of success?
Yeah.
It wasn't just by having software.
Right.
They really focused on building relationships with local businesses, providing really good customer service, and constantly making their platform better.
So there's more to the story than just like having a piece of software.
Exactly.
Okay. So Wardrop's secret sauce is something called white labeling.
Okay.
And it sounds simple. You take existing software, slap your logo on it, and boom, you're in business.
Yeah, white labeling can be a fast way to get started, but it's not always so straightforward.
Oh, really?
There are all these different types of white labeling agreements, different levels of customization, and you have to consider the legal stuff too.
Huh.
It's important to really get into the details before just jumping in.
Like, for example, what if the original software company goes under?
Exactly.
Or what if they change their pricing or, feature?
Right, you could be in trouble.
And suddenly your whole business is at risk.
Yeah, and that doesn't sound very set it and forget it to me.
Not at all.
That's a really good point. With white labeling, you're relying on another company's product,
Yeah.
and their decisions you have very little control, which can be a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to think, if everyone starts doing this cloning, the same idea,
Right.
then you run into market saturation.
Everyone's selling the same thing.
Exactly.
And Wardrop really pushes this passive income thing.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about setting up a client and then just watching the money roll in every month.
Yeah, but recurring revenue can be a part of passive income, sure, but it's rarely as hands-off as people make it seem.
Right.
You still have to get those clients, keep them happy, provide support, and, adapt as things change.
So it's not quite as simple as he makes it sound.
Right.
I'm starting to see some holes in this no money business idea.
Yeah.
And then there's the hook. Wardrop offers a free course, website, templates, even a free trial for the white label software. Seems pretty generous, right?
Well, it's a pretty common marketing tactic. Okay.
You offer something valuable for free to build some trust and get people's attention. And then once they're interested, you introduce those paid options like, premium courses, additional support, or exclusive access to stuff.
So it makes sense as a business strategy, but doesn't it feel a bit manipulative?
Well, it depends on how it's done.
I guess so.
Some people really want to help and give something valuable, but others are just trying to make a quick buck.
Right.
It's up to each person to figure out the real intention behind those offers.
Yeah, that's a good point. You really need to be a smart consumer, especially online.
For sure.
So let's step back for a minute. What are your thoughts on this whole idea of cloning a business? Is it actually a legitimate way to succeed, or is it just another get-rich-quick scheme?
I wouldn't completely dismiss it.
Okay.
There can be some value in modeling your business after a successful one.
Sure.
You can learn from what they did, and you can adapt their strategies to your own niche.
Okay.
But the key word there is adapting.
Just blindly copying someone else's model, especially online, where things change so fast, that's not going to work long term.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You need to stand out, bring something unique to the table, and build a brand that really connects with the people you want to reach.
So it's not about being a copycat. It's about getting inspiration and then making it your own.
Exactly.
Right, that makes a lot more sense. What about the money side of things? Wardrop talks about starting with no money. But realistically, how much do you think someone would actually need to get a white label business going?
It really depends on the software, how much you need to customize it, and your marketing budget.
Okay.
You might be able to get started for a few $100s a month, but that's just for the software itself.
Right.
You'll still need to invest in a website, branding, creating content, and maybe even paid advertising. And don't forget, your time building a business takes time and effort, even with a white label solution.
So it's not really free.
Mm-hmm.
Then there are definitely hidden costs involved.
Yes.
And honestly, even if you could start for just a little bit of money, there's no guarantee it'll work out.
Absolutely. Starting any business is a risk no matter how much money you have.
True.
And online, the competition is fierce.
It is.
You have to stand out, offer something really valuable, and constantly adapt to the changes.
So it sounds like you're suggesting a more thoughtful approach to starting a business.
I think that's wise.
What advice would you give to someone who really wants to start an online business, but maybe doesn't have a lot of money to put in?
I'd say start by figuring out what you're passionate about, what you're good at, and what you know a lot about.
Okay.
Like, what are you really good at? What do you like doing? And what problems can you solve for other people? Once you understand your strengths and interests, then you can start thinking about business ideas that fit with those passions.
It's about finding your niche, that perfect spot where your skills and passions meet a need in the market.
Exactly.
That's great. And then what? How do you actually go from just an idea to a real business?
Well, there are a lot of different paths you could take.
Okay.
You could start by building an audience by creating content, like writing blog posts, making videos, or being active on social media.
Yeah.
That can help you establish yourself, build relationships, and test your ideas without spending a ton of money.
That's a great point. You can start building some momentum and see if your ideas will work before you invest a lot of money.
Exactly. What about free resources?
Oh, yeah.
Are there any online courses or communities that can help new entrepreneurs?
Absolutely. There's so much information available online, from free courses to mentorship programs to online communities.
Wow.
You can connect with other entrepreneurs there.
That's cool.
You don't have to figure everything out on your own. Learn from those who have done it before and adapt their strategies to your own goals and situation.
That's really empowering. You're not alone in this.
Not at all.
There's a whole community of people who want to help and support you.
Yeah, and don't underestimate the power of networking.
Go to industry events, connect with people on LinkedIn, reach out to people you admire.
Right.
Building those relationships is so important for support and for potential collaborations.
It's all about building those connections and learning from others.
Yes.
But even if this specific method of like cloning a business isn't the right fit, there's still a ton of other options out there.
Exactly. The world of online business is huge and it's always changing.
It is.
There's no one right way to do it. The key is to be curious, stay informed, and be willing to adapt and learn as you go.
I like that. So it sounds like the big takeaway here is there's no magic bullet for online business success.
Right.
It takes hard work, dedication, and a willingness to learn and change.
Exactly. Whether you're starting from scratch or using a white label solution, you need to think long term.
Yeah.
What's your vision? What value are you bringing? How will you stand out in a crowded market? Those are the questions that will lead you to real lasting success.
It's about building something that matters, something that's more than just making a quick buck. Speaking of things that matter, I'm curious what got you into online business in the first place.
For me, it was the freedom and flexibility that it offered.
Oh?
Being able to work from anywhere. I set my own hours, be my own boss.
Yeah.
But it was also the creative potential, you know? The online world is always changing, so there are always new opportunities to try new things, experiment, and connect with people in meaningful ways.
That's awesome. It's not just about the money, it's about the lifestyle and being creative.
Right.
And I think that's a great message for our listeners. Even if this specific cloning method isn't right for them, there are so many other ways to build a successful online business.
Absolutely. The key is to find what speaks to you, what aligns with your passions and strengths.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to experiment, try different things, and learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is a journey, not a destination.
That's a great way to put it. So to wrap things up, what's the one piece of advice you would give to our listener who's thinking about taking the leap into online business?
I would say do your research. Find a mentor or community to support you. And most importantly, believe in yourself and your vision.
I love that.
The online world is full of opportunities, but it's up to you to grab them.
Believe in yourself and your vision. It's a great note to end on.
Thanks.
So, listener, if you're feeling inspired to explore online business, remember, there are resources out there to help you every step of the way. Don't be afraid to ask questions, seek guidance, and most importantly, take action. Your online business adventure is waiting.
Good luck. Yeah, it's a common marketing tactic.
Okay.
Offering something valuable for free to build trust and, capture attention. Then as people get hooked, introduce those paid options.
Right.
Premium courses, additional support, exclusive access to resources, that kind of thing.
So it makes sense from like a business perspective.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah.
But it can feel a little manipulative.
I guess it depends on how it's done.
True.
Some people genuinely want to help and provide value.
Yeah.
While others are just focused on making a quick profit. It's up to the individual to figure out, the intention behind these offers.
Okay, so you have to be a savvy consumer, especially online.
Definitely.
All right, so let's step back for a minute. What are your overall thoughts on this idea of cloning a business? Is it actually a legitimate path to success, or is it just a get-rich-quick scheme?
Well, I wouldn't dismiss it entirely.
Okay.
There can be value in modeling your business after a successful company.
Sure.
Learning from their strategies and adapting their best practices to your own niche.
Right.
But the key word here is adapting.
Okay.
Blindly copying someone else's model, especially in a fast-paced market like online,
Yeah.
it's unlikely to lead to long-term success.
That makes sense.
You need to differentiate yourself and bring something unique to the table and build a brand that resonates with your target audience.
So it's not about being a carbon copy. It's about taking inspiration and making it your own.
Exactly.
What about the financial aspect? Wardrop talks about starting with no money. But realistically, how much capital do you think someone would need to get a white label business up and running?
Well, it depends on the software, the level of customization required, and your marketing budget.
Okay.
You might be able to get started for a few $100s a month.
Okay.
But that's just for the software itself.
Right.
You'll also need to invest in a website, branding, content creation, and potentially paid advertising.
Yeah.
And don't forget about your time. Building a business takes time and effort, even with a white label solution.
So it's not exactly free.
No.
There are definitely some hidden costs.
Definitely.
And even if you could get started for a small amount of money, there's still no guarantee of success.
Absolutely. Starting any business is a risk, whether you're bootstrapping it or investing millions.
Right.
And in the online world, competition is fierce.
It really is.
You need to stand out, provide exceptional value, and constantly adapt to changing trends.
So it sounds like you're advocating for a more thoughtful approach to entrepreneurship.
I think that's wise.
What advice would you give to someone who's genuinely interested in starting an online business, but maybe doesn't have a lot of money to invest?
Well, I would encourage them to start by identifying their passions, their skills, and their areas of expertise.
Okay.
What are you good at? What do you enjoy doing? What problems can you solve for others? Once you have a clear understanding of your strengths and interests,
Right.
then you can start exploring business ideas that align with those passions.
So find your unique niche, that sweet spot where your skills and passions intersect with a market need.
Exactly.
I like that. And then what?
Yeah.
How do you go from an idea to an actual business?
Well, there are many paths you can take.
Okay.
You could start by building an audience through content creation.
Like how?
Writing blog posts, creating videos, engaging on social media.
Okay.
This can help you establish your expertise, build relationships, and test your ideas without spending a lot of money.
So you can start building momentum and validating your ideas before investing a lot of capital. That's a good strategy. Are there any free resources like online courses or communities that can provide guidance and support for aspiring entrepreneurs?
Absolutely. There's a wealth of information available online.
Wow.
From free courses to mentorship programs to online communities where you can connect with other entrepreneurs.
Cool.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Learn from those who have gone before you and adapt their strategies to your own goals and circumstances.
So you're not alone on this journey. There's
Yeah.
a whole community of people who are willing to help and support you.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of networking.
Okay.
Attend industry events, connect with people on LinkedIn, reach out to people you admire. Building relationships is crucial both for support and for potential collaborations.
It's all about building connections and learning from others.
Exactly.
So even if this specific method of cloning a business isn't the right fit, there are still plenty of other options available.
Indeed, the entrepreneurial landscape is vast and constantly evolving.
It is.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
The key is to stay curious, stay informed, and be willing to adapt and learn along the way.
It sounds like the key takeaway is that there's no magic formula for online business success.
Yeah, no shortcuts.
It takes work dedication and being willing to learn and adapt.
Exactly. Whether you're starting from scratch or using a white label solution, you really need to have that long-term mindset.
Okay.
Think about, what's your vision? What value are you bringing to the table? How will you stand out from the crowd? Those are the questions that will help you find real, lasting success.
It's about building something meaningful,
Absolutely.
something more than just making a quick buck.
Right.
Speaking of meaningful stuff, I'm curious what drew you to online business in the first place?
Well, for me, it was the freedom and the flexibility that it offered.
Yeah.
Ability to work from anywhere, set my own hours, be my own boss.
Yeah, that's appealing.
But it was also the creative potential. The online world is constantly changing, so there are always new opportunities to innovate, experiment, and connect with people in new ways.
That's inspiring. It's not just about the money, it's about the lifestyle and the creative possibilities.
Exactly.
And I think that's a great message for our listeners, even if this specific method of cloning a business isn't the right fit for them. There are so many other ways to build a successful online business.
Absolutely. The key is to find what resonates with you.
Yeah.
What aligns with your passions and your strengths. And don't be afraid to experiment. Try different things and learn from your mistakes.
You're going to make mistakes.
Everyone does. It's part of the process.
So entrepreneurship is a journey, not a destination.
Well said.
All right, so to wrap things up, what's the one piece of advice you would give to our listeners who are thinking about jumping into online business?
I would say do your research. Find a mentor or a community that can support you, and most importantly, believe in yourself and your vision.
I love that. Believe in yourself and your vision.
Yeah.
That's a great note to end on. So, listener, if you're feeling inspired to explore the world of online business, remember, there are resources out there to help you every step of the way.
There are.
Don't be afraid to ask questions, seek guidance, and most importantly, take action.
You got it.
Your online business adventure awaits.